Hi, this is Alessio Rastani of Leading Trader. Hope you're well. And in this video, we're going to talk about the price surge in the cryptocurrency Ripple. And I'm going to explain to you what could possibly be going on over here and what this surge in Ripple potentially means. Before I do that though, let's just have a few laughs by looking at some of the news headlines in the last few days about this. So take a look at this. Here's some of the news headlines about this price surge. Ripple XRP is up almost 50% in 24 hours on exciting new feature. And here's another one. Ripple to launch payment service. XRP price surges 74%. Here's another one. Ripple XRP could be boosted by exciting new payment options. Now, the reason I've been laughing at these headlines is not because in future we'll be using cryptocurrencies as one method of payment. I do believe that actually is going to happen. I do believe that in the future we will definitely be using some kind of cryptocurrency for making payments. So I'm not laughing at that. No. What I'm laughing is the fact that very soon after these headlines about how Ripple is going up by 70% or 50% or whatever, very soon, these very same news organizations that were spreading this hype about this surge, they also said this. Take a look. Just a day after, the very same news media that were talking about the price surge of 50%, 74%, they posted this. They said, Ripple XRP has fallen sharply after last week's spike. Here's why. Okay, let's see. The Ripple XRP bull run appears to have come to an abrupt end after last week's 100% price rise as hard-bitten investors look to recoup their losses from earlier in the year. And here's another one. Over $9 billion wiped off of XRP value after surprise spike in the cryptocurrency price. And here's another one. Ripple lives up to the maxim that what goes up must come down. Guys, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. What's been happening in the last few days is a perfect example of why financial news media are the biggest pile of garbage, the biggest turd burger on the planet. Because the very same organizations that were talking about a huge surge, a huge spike in the price of Ripple and why this is going up, on the very same day provided evidence and provided reasons as to why it's going down. So let me get it straight. There are reasons for why this is going up and there are reasons for why it's going down. You see, guys, I've said this before in a previous video. One of the best books written on finance by Nassim Taleb. I highly recommend you read this book, Fooled by Randomness. In this book, the author, Nassim Taleb, says that, look, what news organizations do, and the reason why financial news media is useless and complete pile of garbage is because they give you a whole bunch of reasons in one day as to why something's going up. And on the very same day or day after, they give you a whole bunch of other reasons as to why it's going down. Which is why I said in my previous video, if you go and watch my previous video that I posted just about 4 weeks ago, I said this, what Bitcoin insiders don't want you to know. This is the secret that insiders don't want other people to know, which is this. There are two types of information. There are information for the masses, everybody else, and there is information for the classes. Who are the classes? The elites, the insiders. Do you think the elites, the insiders, rely on the same kind of information from the mainstream media, for example, as everybody else? No, they don't do that. Information for the masses, the pile of nonsense and garbage everybody gets from the mainstream media, no, that is not what insiders and the elites rely on to make their investment decisions. Professionals do not rely on news narratives. Let me repeat that. Professionals do not rely on news and news narratives for their decision making. What they do is they look at hard evidence, they look at hard facts, they look at the charts, they look at price action, because price action is pure. What's been happening in the last few days, in the last week, is a perfect example of pump and dump by the institutions. They deliberately spread these false rumors. Now, they might be true rumors, doesn't matter, but the fact is they spread this gossip, they spread this rumor in the mainstream media. The mainstream media, what they do, they amplify it. They amplify this news. They talk about it. Oh, price surge of 50%, price surge of 74%, and so on and so on. And when things don't work out, when the price suddenly falls, they provide a whole bunch of other reasons as to why, no, it's not going to work out because, professionals are taking profits and all that kind of stuff. This is why, guys, we need to be careful. We need to educate ourselves. We need to educate our minds by reading books like this one as to how professionals and institutions can manipulate the price by, again, spreading rumors and gossip and, of course, pumping and dumping a specific market. And this is why, guys, I do not believe this is the beginning of a bull market rally, as some people have called it in Ripple, but in fact is nothing more than a pump and dump, a deliberate manipulative move to push the price of Ripple higher in order for the institutions and insiders to make profits off of it. In fact, here's some evidence as to why I believe this. if you take a look at the chart of Ripple, now if you compare this to the chart of Bitcoin, you will not see any kind of correlation whatsoever. In fact, look at Bitcoin. There's hardly any sort of corroboration, any kind of confirmation in the price of Bitcoin. Because let me make this very clear. It's very unlikely for Ripple on its own to stage a bull market rally without seeing some kind of follow through, some kind of confirmation or correlation happening in the other crypto markets like Bitcoin and maybe even Ethereum. Let's not forget that Bitcoin has a much higher market cap than some of the other cryptos like Ethereum, XRP, and so on and so on. So if there was going to be a genuine bull market run in the price of Ripple, we would at least see some kind of evidence of that happening in, for example, Bitcoin or indeed Ethereum. We're not seeing anything like that in either Bitcoin or indeed in Ethereum, both of which actually are going down. And actually, if you just go back to the chart of Ripple, here's something else I want to say here about this, which is it is true that Ripple has broken through some important trend lines. In fact, it's broken through this important resistance level you see here. So that is a positive sign. So if we just zoom in here, we can see that XRP, Ripple here, is above its trend line, is above its 21 daily average. That is a positive sign. But I think, as you will see in the next few weeks, potentially, I think what is likely to happen here is that we're going to see this is nothing more than a failed rally. Indeed, a temporary pop before this finally collapses and falls back to its support level. And here's the level you want to watch. This is the level you want to pay attention to on Ripple. 40 cents, which is this level where the trend line meets the 21 daily average. If Ripple falls back below the trend line, below the 21 daily average, then this is very likely a failed rally and nothing more than a temporary pop before we see this market, before this price comes back down to reality, back to the support levels. But here's another thing. I'm going to keep an open mind. If Ripple tests this level at 40 cents, this trend line and this moving average, and then bounces off and then stages another rally here above the previous highs that it formed, above the 80 cents level there, then if that happens, then very likely this is the beginning of something potentially big, potential bull run in Ripple. But do I think that's likely to happen? No, I do not. It's a possibility, but is it likely? Is it probable? No, I do not believe that. So again, what I think is really happening here is institutions are deliberately manipulating through news, through rumor and gossip to deliberately push the price of a market higher, and then we're going to see it fall back down to its previous lows. And I think that's what's really going on here in Ripple. The fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not seeing any evidence of that, any follow through, any confirmation, is, I think, also something to bear in mind. By the way, I know that the supporters of Ripple who are watching this video right now are probably going to disagree with me on this. That's okay, we can disagree. But again, we'll see in a few months where this all is going to go. All right, guys, hope this video helps. And if it has, please give it a thumbs up. And also please subscribe for future updates. Thanks a lot.